All right, folks, get the game consoles out and let's take this to the next level. Let's do this. Hey, welcome back. I figured I would review the other movie I got to see this past weekend. On Saturday night, we took our son to see Sonic the Hedgehog. And then on Sunday, a friend of mine texted me about doing something with him and his son. And I gave Troy the options, and he wanted to go see Jumanji the next level. So that's what we did on Sunday. As we know from the trailers, our whole cast is back. The Rock's back as Dr. Bravestone, a.k.a. Spencer. Kevin Hart's back as Mouse, a.k.a. Fridge. Karen Gillian's back as Ruby Roundhouse, or a.k.a. Martha. And Jack Black's back as Oberon, a.k.a. Bethany. Nick Jonas is back as Seaplane McDonough. Colin Hanks is back as Alex. Aquafina is the new addition to this movie. She plays Ming. And this film was written and directed by Jake Kasdan. Again, he did the first movie. He was back for the sequel. And I can't forget about Danny DeVito as Grandpa Eddie, or Danny Glover as Milo Walker. And the movie picks up a year after the end of the first film. And we see all of our kids at college. And Martha, Fridge, and Bethany seem to be having a great time at college. Spencer is not, though. He's having a tough time with it. He has a job to help pay for school. He's having a tough time with that. And you can just tell he's depressed. His life is not going the way he thought it was going to be going, especially after their adventure and the way high school finished off. He thought life would be going really, really well. And Christmas break is upon them, and they're texting each other about getting together to go for brunch. Spencer at first doesn't reply, but eventually he does, saying he'll meet everybody. And when Spencer gets home, he sees that his grandpa Eddie is living at the house temporarily because he just got hip surgery. He's recovering. And instead of going for brunch and meeting his friends, Spencer decides to go down in the basement, and he pulls out a briefcase. And inside the briefcase is the broken game console that they smashed in the first one and the Jumanji game. And he starts to tinker with it. Martha, Bethany, and Fridge are worried about Spencer. Martha explains to them about how they're on a break and that she's worried about Spencer. He doesn't seem to be himself quite. So they decide to go to Spencer's house. And after talking with Grandpa Eddie and his friend Milo Walker, they head down in the basement, and Spencer's not there, but they find the Jumanji game, and they realize he went back in. And if you remember the end of the first one, when they were getting ready to go back to their normal lives after they won the game, Spencer tried to talk Martha out of not going back and staying in Jumanji as their characters because he liked being Bravestone. So it makes sense that after a year of being miserable, he wants to go back and relive that. And they decide to go in. Fridge doesn't want to do it, but Martha talks him into it. And the game sucks Martha in, Fridge, Grandpa Eddie, and Milo Walker, but leaves Bethany behind. And when they get there, the game's totally different than the first time. And Martha ends up being Ruby Roundhouse like she was in the first one, but Fridge ends up being Oberon in this one. And Milo Walker ends up being Mouse, Kevin Hart's character, and Grandpa Eddie ends up being The Rock. And once they get their stuff together, they realize they got to go find Spencer. And Spencer must be a different character. They don't know who, but he must be a different character. So they set along their way to try to find him. And they end up in this village. And there's a new bad guy. And there's a new jewel. It's not that this bad guy had taken, and darkness has come over the land, and they have to get it back and yell Jumanji like in the first movie. And eventually they catch up with Spencer, and Bethany ends up back in the game with the help of Alex. She goes to ask Alex for help, and they end up in the game as well to help everybody get out. And pretty much the plot is they got to get this jewel, yell Jumanji, and they'll win the game again. Now, the game is totally different, and it's more elaborate in certain aspects, and the action sequences are more elaborate in this film as well. I don't want to give anything else away because this is a pretty new movie, even though it was released before Christmas, and it's coming out in digital on demand at the beginning of March, I believe. I just checked that this morning. But I had fun with this movie, and it does set it up for a third one. That's not a secret. Compared to for how much money the first one made, this one's making a lot of money. Of course, they're gonna make a third one, and they definitely set up for a third one. All the characters are great, even though they're switched around. I was worried that the whole Milo Walker and Kevin Hart and Danny DeVito and The Rock was gonna get old And just when I thought it was getting old, they do something to switch it around, and it ends up being fine. I think The Rock's great trying to play Danny DeVito, and Kevin Hart's great trying to play Danny Glover, but it just gets a little old. But just in time, they save it from getting, dragging the movie down. I will say the movie does drag in spots a little bit. There's some spots that could have been trimmed down. That this movie's a little bit longer than the first movie. But overall, I had a good time. My son loved it. My friend and his son liked it. I would give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. If you like the first movie, this is pretty much the same, just with added characters and a new game. And that's pretty much it. But if you like the characters and you're willing to go along for the ride, you're going to enjoy this film. It's an adventure film. That's pretty much what it is. And they stick to the rules pretty much. They add some new rules. But overall, yeah, I'd highly recommend it. If you like the first one, definitely check this one out. Like I said, it's coming out in video on demand, I think March 3rd. I think that's the date I saw. But yeah, I like Jumanji. I'd recommend it if you like the first one. I like the first one a little bit better, but I still had a fun time. So that's it for me for Jumanji The Next Level. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you've seen it. Let me know what you think about this film. And I will be back soon with a Michael Bay classic, Armageddon. Oh yes, I rewatched that over the weekend with my wife. So I'll be back soon with a review on that film. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.